Hello, in this video we're going to talk about how to take the VAL labs. VAL stands for Virtual Astronomy Labs and can be found in your D2O course. The easiest way to get to them is to go into Content and then over here on the left hand side locate the Visual Astronomy Labs module. When you click on it, you'll see the following topics listed: Lab 1, Lab 2, so on and so forth. There'll be 10 labs available throughout the course, and each lab will cover whatever its description is. For example, Lab 1 will cover measurements and unit conversion. This first link here will allow you to register for VAL, although the way it's set up this semester, you really won't have to worry about that unless you have not yet set up your MindTap account. But most of you should have accessed the textbook, which is also known as MindTap. In order to begin taking your labs, simply click on the given lab that you'll be studying. That will in turn open up a new tab, and then you'll be taken to the home page for the lab itself. Here you'll find the text broken out into its section segments. So here's an introduction. When I click on the introduction, I'll be taken to a short brief passage that will discuss what we're going to be covering in this particular lab. Make sure to follow through each one of these sections sequentially. When you're done with the passage, the best way to close and get back to the main table of contents is to simply click over here in the upper right-hand corner to shut that activity down. Next, you can move on to a reading that includes activities. So the way to really do this the right way is to click on the actual title of the section. That's going to take you to a table of contents. Here you'll figure out what you're going to be learning about. So in section 1, we have 1.1, 1.1a, 1.1b, 1.1c. To navigate to the next page within that section, you can use these scroll bars located to the left and to the right to flow through the text sequentially. You can also print material up here if you'd like to. As you read through, you're going to find animations. For example, in 1.1b, here's a distance chart. Now notice when I got here, it was blank initially. These are multimedia features within the e-reader. So if you don't see anything at first, wait a second, and then you should see the necessary information to complete the next problem, which typically follows an animation. If the animation does not show, the easiest way to address the issue is to go over to this area here next to your name and do a quick system check. You should make sure that all of these functions are enabled. Pop-ups have been disabled, Flash is enabled, third-party cookies are enabled, and JavaScript is enabled. As you can see here, I'm using Chrome. It's the most up-to-date version of Chrome. I recommend you do the same, or you use Firefox and the most up-to-date version of Firefox. Doing so will ensure that all activities will display properly. You'll also want to make sure that you're not abusing your browser with too many tabs. For example, here I've got 5 tabs open. Most of you will typically range in the same way. But if you've got a lot of tabs open, it can corrupt the history and it can cause problems. So it's always a good idea to, when you're focusing in on homework, to run just a couple of tabs simultaneously and to frequently clear out your browser's history. Doing so can be done by just going through your history tab and then clear browsing data here. I always recommend you do it since the beginning of time. Give it a full flush, shut the browser down once you've completed the history flush, and then simply return back to the activity. It really makes things go a lot faster. When you're ready to take the activity, just come down here, click on Start, give it a second, and you'll be presented with a question. In this case, it's a drag and drop. So we match this in the order that it's asking us to, whatever we might think that is. There it is. And when we're ready, we click here to submit our answer. Partially correct. Notice I can take this again, try another version, or I can proceed to the next question. And here is where I'll submit my activity for grading, and at that time I am done. I believe with this you get 2 takes at it. So use it wisely. And if you need any help with that, always remember you can just scroll back and go back to the chapter contents and reread materials. Or if you need to go back out to the main page, simply click up here in the upper right-hand corner, and there you'll see everything. Finally, down here I've also included a full version. In other words, all this reading material can be accessed simply by clicking here if you prefer. So when you click on that, notice there's our section 1.1 or section 1.2, so on and so forth. So everything can be referred to back here, and if you find that to be more useful, just remember where that is. Okay? And so that concludes our video on how to work with the virtual astronomy labs. Hopefully this has been helpful and will allow you to get to our materials and take them with as little effort as possible. Thanks again, and good luck this semester.